So, what's your first memory of mom and dad?
I was in a very dark place, and then it suddenly got light, and I was in horrible pain. And then there was a strange man in a mask, and they started passing me around the room. And then I remember seeing mom clearly. She was, perfectly done makeup and hair, and
What is my first memory of mom and dad? Well, I don't think I have a specific first memory.
Oh, really? Like, what's the first thing you remember?
No, I don't remember much childhood. I just remember mom and dad being awesome.
It felt really good, and I think for me it was being accepted as part of the family that was a real gift. It was a real joy that I remember even meeting your parents the first time, how hard your dad tried to make sure he didn't ask me the wrong questions, and the first thing he did ask was the wrong questions.
What were the wrong questions?
I think Paul had prepped Vern to say, now don't ask her things like, how do you like living in the States? Because Hawaii is the 50th state. So
Right.
I remember we're sitting, in the car, and we had gone to, I think, I went with Paul to one of his conferences in New York. So we thought it was a great time to
York
meet.
City,
To meet the family. And as soon as he asked the question, he goes, "Oh, darn it! I wasn't supposed to ask that question." So I knew first off that there was a great sense of humor in the family, but also that sense of closeness. And
Well, we met, Marcia and I worked together at BOCES as interpreters, and we didn't work together, but we both worked in separate schools, and we met at our regular monthly meetings, and we really liked each other, and we started talking about Marcia's time in India, and our daughter obviously is from India, so we had that in common. We really liked each other a lot. We were very nervous about the guys meeting because we didn't have any idea if they would like each other. So we described them and tried to figure this out, and finally we decided we'd go to a movie together, and that way the boys could be quiet, because we figured out they're both kind of introverts, so they could be just real quiet. And that worked great. So I think we went out for ice cream or something after the movie, and that's how we got to know them.
And she was a big sister that I forever looked up to, forever. When I was graduating from high school, she was graduating from, oh yes. So one of the most exciting things for me was a year when they were working on the elementary school. And so they closed the elementary school and I had to go to the junior high. And that was so exciting because that's where my big sister was. And so I remember seeing her in the hall, and you can imagine her little brother, Marcia. And she went and walked up with her.
When I think of them, first off, they're always a paired group. It's never just Marcia, it's never just Dick, it's always Dick and Marcia. And I think when I think of them, the first thing I think of is unity, because I always think of them together. I really never ever think of them apart. But also, I guess, love, acceptance. The first few words that come to mind when I think of them.
Do you have, like, when Adam mentions, hey, my parents, is there, like, a picture in your head you go to? Like, for me, like, Tuesday, just them together? Okay.
Yeah, always, anytime he mentions, even if he just mentions, oh, I talked to mom, it's, the thought is always them together, no matter who you met.
Right.
Which
There's
together.
Dad hanging out. Ask him this. Tell him this.
They're always together.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
She was funny looking.
Well,
It's true.
we became very, very good friends with the young couple who were in the upstairs apartment of a house that was a single-family house that had been made into 2 apartments. They were from Nebraska, and just a wonderful couple, and they had a baby. And I think that made us think that we ought to have one.
I can tell you what happened too.
Yeah.
When she was a little older, Don and I would take our kids outside, and we would hand the baby carriages, and people would look at Donna's baby, and they'd say, "Oh, isn't she adorable? Isn't she darling?" And then they'd look in my baby carriage and say, Oh, a baby, another baby. I got so I didn't want to go out with her.
Well, her hair looked as though it was full of electricity and just stood right straight up out of her head.
Well, it could be overwhelming maybe at first, but it was still lots of fun. And I remember playing, games on some of our first gatherings, which were a little stressful because I was trying to focus on the rules, but they were also just like a fun way to interact and meet everyone.
What can be said that hasn't already been said?
That is profound. Okay, let me give you some more specifics. What's your memories growing up? What kind of things come to mind when I say what it was like to grow up in the Kramer household?
Our mom and dad were always very loving, and they always told us they loved us and that they were proud of us, and always try to encourage us to do stuff. I think all the time now about when I had my first job at 14, I was probably making $180 a week, and Dad's like, just put away $10 in savings, and I'm like, who can afford it? Man, what I would not have given Dad to put away $10 in savings.
Oh, eat more chocolate, drink more booze, spend more money. You've earned every bit of free time you got. You got nothing left. You don't owe anyone anything, and that's a unique position to find yourself. So if you don't enjoy it, it'll be a missed opportunity.
We love you, Marcia and Dick. Absolutely, without question. We are so lucky that you are both in our lives. Marcia, you've been at the center of my life forever, and through everything, you've been so important to me. The fact that you have such a wonderful relationship together is something that's really important to me, and I'm so glad that we're all still friends as well as siblings.
Happy 50th. We have a few more years to catch up with you. Paul's still on 28th, I'm on 38th, but again, I've just really much valued being part of this family, and some of the inspirations that you've given to us as a couple in your relationship, I think, has been something that I have valued and appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. You've done wonderfully with your lives, with your relationships, and with your children. We really admire you greatly. And be thinking about stuff you want to say in 12 years or 22 years when we hit 50.
Depending on who's going to calculate the 50th years for us.
A happy anniversary, and I'm very happy to have been able to meet you, and I look forward to fun future times together. But yeah, many happy next 50 years.
They did a wonderful job, and I think it's really impressive they got it. They got it together. But I think Marcia and Richard have an integrity of a different level. They have an integrity of who they are. They really live who they are, and there isn't a compromise. And that's really something to be proud of, I think.
You did this. I hope you're happy with yourself. No, I mean, I love you guys. I'm so happy that I'm your son and grew up in our family, and we have so many amazing memories, and so much of that is because of who you each are individually and then who you are as a couple. And I've learned so much about what it means to be a person in our society, and a significant other, and a manly man. Swinging from tree to tree. But yeah, I mean, wow, I'm so happy that I have the family that I have, and I have you guys as my parents, and no surprise that maybe a little bit of surprise you made it 50 years. I mean, I think about raising Adam and Nate and I don't know how many people would have made it through that in one piece. I mean, I guess you slowly lose your sanity, and that helps make everything better, but
just reminded who you are.
Yeah, that's right. I'm your middle child. But yeah, so I'd say congratulations, and it's awesome, and hopefully there's another 50 years moving forward. And I think they've gotten better with pets as they've gotten older. They
Kill a lot less.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot less animal deaths in the family. So that's a positive, live and learn.
I don't know. We're about to hit 40. Amazing that just amazing gets that far. And it seems like a blink of an eye, it's like forever.
What could I say? I hope. God, I don't know. I don't know what I could say to them.
We're only at 38. We wouldn't give them advice. They'd give
No.
us advice.
I think they should just travel, spend a ton of money, because I know that's what Dick likes to do, and see the world, see what kind of roadkill there is in different states.
I think the trips you guys are doing with Paul and Marilyn and Connie Craig are fantastic. You get Mom and Connie and Paul together, and it's just a laugh a minute. But Marilyn and Dad and Craig balance you guys out. So I think you guys continue to take trips every year, whether you're stuck in the United States or you can travel the world. And I think you continue to go down and spend as much time as you can with your grandkids. And I think you don't forget about your kids that are up in Rochester that don't have kids.
Is there anything you would want to be saying to them right now as they're watching this, besides maybe congratulations?
Oh boy. I guess we would just say that we have been so lucky to have Marcia as our lead-off child. She was wonderful. We did all of our experimenting in parenthood with her. And I think she cleared the way so that we were a lot easier on the others than we were on her.
I think that always happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would never want anybody to be a first child. But she lived through it.
She did. Any message for them on their 50th? You guys have been married for how many years?
65, and I don't think that's their 50th.
Well, it will be when they watch this. So
I can't believe
it will be when they watch this. When they're watching this for the first time, it'll be their 50th. They don't get to see it until then.
Oh, I can't believe it.
When is their 50th?
14 years.
3 years?
14.
In 14 years.
Yeah, so they'll see this in 14 years. So when they're watching this, it's their 50th anniversary right now.
Obviously, you don't expect us to be around for that.
We actually do.
Yeah, we're hoping. But do you have any advice for them on how to keep their marriage going strong?
You're going to keep this secret for 14 more years?
That's the plan.
No kidding.
Yep.
What did we say?
Well, all I can say is it's a good thing at my age I have such a short memory.
So do you have any advice for them on keeping the marriage happy for another...
Just keep going the way they are.
Yeah.
They're a lovely couple.
Yeah.
In fact, they grew nicer and nicer together.
We love you guys so much. And thanks for sharing your lives.
Congratulations. It's a well-earned honor that you've got at this point, and thanks for being a part of our lives by sharing with us.